Resilience of children, I think, is one of the things that I imagine would struck you, Jo, while you're out there.
Yeah, it was. I mean, they're living in constant fear. It's very difficult to explain to some of those little girls that things are going to be all right, because it's in the lap of the gods, isn't it? And just as they were all getting together a bit and feeling a bit safer, another earthquake hit. And those girls that I spoke to at that school, they'd been sleeping out in the parks and the stadiums, rough and then intense once aid had got there in the city in Kathmandu for about, a couple of weeks, nearly 3 weeks before they could move back into anywhere that was a bit more sheltered. And that's scary itself in Nepal, because they've got a lot of poisonous snakes, a lot of, so the little girl was saying to me, I was worried about the earthquakes, then when we got to the open space I was worried about snakes, and that is a real threat. And yes, but so they are resilient, but they're quite traumatised.
And we saw that lady there at 74 being pleased to be given some corrugated iron, but then having to construct her own construction. Now, if we found a 74-year-old here constructing a shelter out of corrugated iron on their own, we'd sort of think it was a national scandal, wouldn't we?
We would. I think what's important to know is that they have 3 phases of response. They have the initial immediate response in an emergency for 3 months, where they get in, make safe, make sure people are, alive, food and water. And then at the moment they're in recovery phase, which is for these 3 months, it's about giving them shelter enough to get through the monsoon, because those villages we were in there, they'll be cut off within a few weeks, really. When the monsoon really hits, torrential rain can come for 10 days relentlessly, and those mud roads will be impassable within 2 days. So those people who are used to being cut off in the monsoon, they know that's coming usually. Usually they've got a corn store, they've got their land, they've got their cattle. They live for themselves up the mountain there, and they're all right for 3 months. But at the moment, they've got hardly any cattle left. Their corn was under that rubble. Their life is under that rubble. So they really need to be made safe before the monsoon. And then after that, in September, they'll start to help them rebuild as well. I mean, these aid workers are incredible. They're from Nepal, Some of these people have lost their own homes. Their families are living in tents, and then they're going up the mountain delivering this aid in the day.
Is there a sense of hope about the future, though, Jo? Do they feel like they're going to get to that 3rd phase and they're going to actually manage to rebuild their lives and their homes?
Once you see where the money has already gone from this country that people have donated, and all over the world, in fact, and what they've done so far, there absolutely is hope. And the projects are incredible.
And what about for you personally? You're a mum as well, to go through that, and also you're an actress, and I get to do lots of amazing things, go to glamorous events. Sometimes we all find ourselves moaning about things that aren't that important. Did you find it a real moment of reality?
Yeah, I mean, that's why I wanted to do something like this, because I'm so lucky. I get to do what I love for a living, and, so to be able to use it to come home and talk to people, and I'll be blogging this, I've diaried the whole thing, so to hear about more about the stories and things like that, there'll be links from your site and CAFOD's site, and so, and I'll put them out on my Twitter and things, so you can really hear about the impact on me and the people in that country. But yeah, it's good to use it for something a bit more interesting and a bit more worthwhile, isn't it, than just entertaining people.
Absolutely. Well, Jo, thank you so much for going, and thanks for coming back and telling us about it. I look forward to reading those blogs. Like you say, we'll put them on our website and the CAFOD website, and also...
and the donations will go straight to Nepal if they go via you and the charities.
Great.
So it's all worth knowing.
Great.
Lovely to see you. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
I didn't know what I was walking into, I didn't know what story she was necessarily going to tell me, and we'd been trekking for hours to get to her. So with the 4x4 just couldn't get us any further up the mountains, and then we trekked to her house.